Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. So glad you're here. We're currently having a debate slash vote about chair pose versus no chair pose tonight. There's going to be a tiny bit of chair pose tonight, but definitely not a ton of it, and always optional. All right, audio has been checked. We are good to go. I am so happy to have you all here. It's a beautiful day outside. I hope you got to be in the sunshine a little bit. And if you have any or problems with audio tonight, feel free just to put it in the chat section and I can try to troubleshoot as we go, but I think we should be set. I'm Mikki if I've not practiced with you before, and this is going to be an all levels feel good, sort of mellow Monday night flow with lots and lots of options for whatever you're feeling in your body today. So I'll give options to make it a little bit harder for yourself, and I'll give you options to calm it down a little bit. And I'm finding that as we go through this situation that we're all going through together, that people are kind of leaning really strongly one direction or another in terms of what they need. Some people are showing up and really needing to move and kind of work everything out of their bodies. And other people are showing up and really needing to be kind of still and grounded and calm. And so there's not a right or a wrong to that. Just sort of listen to what you need tonight and give yourself just what you need. Nothing more, nothing less. We're going to get started on our backs tonight. Neil votes double chair. Thank you, Neil. All the chair pose. So we're going to come on down to our backs. And as you come down onto your back, my recommendation for getting started tonight is going to be a pose called Constructive Rest Pose. So we're going to bend the knees, take your feet wide, let your knees fall in on each other like a little mountaintop. And then you're going to kind of create the same shape for your arms. So we'll take the arms up toward the ceiling. Draw a big X with your arms, bend your elbows, and then basically just give yourself a hug. So the arms are around the chest, not on the neck, not on the face, but just resting on your chest. And depending on the length of your arms, your hands might be sort of pooled on the ground, or they might be hugging around the backs of your shoulders. They might just be sort of flopping. All of that's good. If it's comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. And let's take a big inhale here, fill up. And open your mouth, let it go. Let's do that all together one more time. Big inhale, fill up. And open your mouth, let it go. And then start to let your breath settle into a rhythm, a pattern, a quality that feels really good to you tonight. Whatever you find yourself sort of needing as you settle here into your space, allow the breath to start to meet that. And as we settle here for a few moments, as we get started with our practice, just starting to feel yourself kind of evolving in this shape. So instead of thinking of this like a statue where you get into it and then that's all there is, it just sort of stays. Can you think of this sort of like a lava lamp? Maybe that'll be a good visual for you. Sort of that gradual shifting, adjusting, and evolving with your breath as you settle here. And instead of letting the mind wander through all of the things in your day and all of the noise that's currently existing in your mind, can you start to focus your mind here and observe this sort of lava lamp evolution as things begin to release, as things begin to settle, as things begin to soften. Let's just recross your arms. We'll take the arms to the sky and recross with the other arm closest to your chin and settle right back into that hug. Continue to observe. breath in its ebb and flow, its rise and fall is like a very gentle lull or a rock for your body. We allow ourselves to fully breathe in and out of our shape. It reminds things that have been holding and tense that they can let go. Allows there to be a sense of aliveness within ourselves, as opposed to that stagnation that sometimes happens when we're tense or when we sit in uncomfortable chairs. I've heard about all of your dining room workstations. How about 2 more really full breaths here as we settle in? Just continue to watch and observe. Also, make sure you're providing yourself enough space to evolve with the breath. Let those shifts happen. And then we're going to take your feet and begin to wiggle them in as wide as your hips. The knees will separate. Let's take your arms up overhead and get really long from your fingertips through your tailbone. Just let your feet be really heavy and rooted into the ground for now. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring your right knee into your chest. Reach down with your hands. Hold on to the back of the right thigh. And then as you inhale, let's straighten your right leg. Take the foot toward the ceiling. And then exhale, bend your right knee and pull that leg in nice and close. A couple times there. Super easy. Straighten the leg. Doesn't have to get all the way straight. Just head that direction and bend. About 2 more on this side. Straighten and bend. 1 more time. And then we'll straighten that leg 1 more time. Let's go ahead and flex your right foot, press up through the heel, really anchoring into your left foot. We're going to start to cross your right leg over the body, but just until until the right foot is hovering over the outer left edge of your body. So we're not going to take it all the way over like we do sometimes. Just maybe, 12 inches or so from its original location. Really continue to anchor or lengthen out through that right heel. And as you sort of take that diagonal lean with the right leg, can your right hip and low back stay really heavy on the ground? So you're starting to get sort of this length and release through the outer edge of your right leg. The hands are not necessary if you don't need them. They can just come to the ground. If your leg likes to be supported, then keep holding on. Each and every shape as this constantly changing and evolving and shifting organism, as opposed to just a stagnant, maybe statue. Feeling the shifts, feeling the release as it comes. And then let's take your right leg directly above your right hip. Bend that right knee. Let the foot come on down to the ground. And let's do that other side. So left leg comes in, and we'll support the back of the hamstring. As you inhale, straighten the left leg. And as you exhale, bend the left knee. Super simple like that a couple times. Straighten and bend. Moving with your breath a couple more times. And then we'll straighten that leg 1 more time and let's flex through your left foot. So toes pull toward the knee, heel presses up. Remember, hands are optional here. I like the feeling of supporting the leg, so I'm going to keep holding on, but it's not necessary if you want to release your arms. And we're going to take that left leg just maybe 12 inches or so over toward the right until your left foot is hovering over the outer edge of your right side body. Press out through that left heel as you really get heavy through the left low back, left side of your pelvis. Noticing as we move tonight that when there's a lot of tension present, it's really hard for things to evolve and have life in them. So giving yourself enough space that things can soften, things can release. The breath can be really full here. And then let's go ahead and bring that left leg directly over the left hip. Bend the knee. Let the foot come back down to the ground. And one more time, let's take both arms up overhead, anchoring into your feet. Let your hips get heavy. The tailbone lengthens toward the heels. And then exhale, let's bring both knees into your chest now. We'll reach down and hold on to your shins or your thighs, and we'll start to rock up and down your spine. We're going to bring ourselves all the way up and over into table, and you can roll over your ankles and feet to get there, or you can kind of swing the legs around and come to table. Table is just what it sounds like. Hands and knees, wrists below your shoulders, knees below your hips. And then let's start to move the spine a little bit. So inhale, we'll drop the belly, heart lifts, head lifts, cow pose. And then exhale, round the spine, let the head fall forward for cat. We're going to do a couple rounds there. Belly down, head and heart up. Exhale, round. One more round at that pace. And then let's inhale into cow and pause. We're just going to stay in that shape as you exhale. Stay in that shape as you inhale. And then exhale into cat. Round your spine. Let the head fall forward. And we'll do that same pattern. So you'll stay and enjoy the inhale here and feel how the pose continues to evolve and shift. Stay for your exhale. Drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the head, cow pose as you inhale. Let's do that one more time. So we'll stay for the exhale. Stay for your inhale. Exhale, cat. Staying for the inhale. Where can you find some added space? Staying for your exhale. Where can you find perhaps a greater sense of release? And we're going to inhale into table, long, flat back and spine. Once you're there, let's take your right leg, stretch it back with the toes on the floor. We're going to push back through that right heel. And then let's do the same thing with the left leg. So rebend the right knee, bring it back under the hip. Left leg straightens back, toes on the floor. Push back through your left heel. Feel the back of the knee open up. Feel the legs start to power up and engage. And then let's rebend that left knee, bring it back down. And we're going to take the right leg back again. Toes on the floor. Start to push down into your right foot and into your left shin. And let's sneak your left leg back to plank pose. Both legs are straight. And then I'm going to give a few options here. So we're going to stay for a couple breaths to start to warm up our core. And just, I like this pose because it wakes up the entire body, if you're not feeling that. So you can keep the knees up or you can bring them down if you'd like. There's also a version of plank that's done on the forearms, elbows below shoulders if you have wrist things going on. And we're going to straighten and bend the legs a couple times here. So if you've got knees down, let's go ahead and straighten the right leg and then bend. And then you'll do the same thing with the left leg. If you have your legs straight, then you'll bend one knee. You're kind of doing the opposite. And then straighten. And then switch. And while this could get kind of sassy, I want you to try to keep everything really stable. Bend and straighten. And bend and straighten. How about a couple more breaths here? Make it work for you. If it's too much, you can keep both knees down the whole time. This is what happens when we request no chair pose. You get more plank pose. Okay, one more bend and straighten on each side, or 2 more rounds of breath here. And then let's bring both knees down to the floor. Elbows point straight back, and let's lower all the way down onto the belly. Once you're on the belly, go ahead and untuck your toes, point those toes straight back. And let's lift your right foot just an inch or two. Feel that leg lengthen like a go-go gadget limb. And then put the top of the foot on the ground. And then left leg lifts, reach back, 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 and put that foot back down. And try to keep both legs super long and active. And let's start to pull your hands back as you lift the heart, lift the head for baby cobra. So hands are not pushing down. We're just going to pull back so you can start to wake up your upper back to do the lifting of the head and the heart here. Couple breaths. Again, feel the shape evolve with your breath. At some point, it might feel nice in your body to sneak your hands a little bit further back. At some point, you might feel like you need to lower a little bit to keep it evolving and alive. And then exhale, let yourself come on down. We're going to push into hands and knees, come on up into table, and then round your spine as you press all the way back into child's pose. Couple breaths here just to let yourself feel the shape, to sort of remind your body or to inform your body if you're newer to this practice. Now, this is a shape you can come to anytime tonight that you just need a few moments. And then let's come on up. Coming back to your table shape. Tuck your toes under, hips go up and back. Downward facing dog. You'll see more of this shape tonight, but for now, just a breath or two here, maybe a little wag of your tail. And we're going to look toward your hands, and with a soft bend to the knees, let yourself walk all the way forward to your hands. Bend the knees a lot once you're there, and let's roll up inch by inch by inch, all the way to standing. Just allow for now there to be a soft bend in your knees. Let's take your hands up toward the sky. It's not chair pose, it's just a soft leg. And then exhale, we're going to fold over your legs. And again, I want you to keep that soft bend in your knees. Let your hands find your shins. Let's slide your fingertips up the shins, lifting up halfway. Head goes forward, spine comes parallel to the ground. And then exhale, slide right back down. With that soft bend in your knees, let's reach forward or out to the side and all the way back up. At the very top there, go ahead and let the legs straighten. Palms join together overhead and exhale, hands down into your heart. Let's do one more just like that. No surprises. You're welcome to close your eyes. Inhale, let's reach up, and you could have the legs straight now, or you could keep that soft bend in the knees. And then exhale, fold over your legs. Fingers on shins. We'll slide the hands up, the legs, just halfway lift there. Exhale, we'll fold. And inhale, rise up, reach up, coming all the way back up to your mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll add on from there. Inhale, let's reach. Exhale, we'll fold. Halfway lift, inhale. As you fold, right leg stays, left leg steps back. Never rushing, just going at your own pace here. That back knee is going to stay off the ground, and we're going to come on up into a lunge. If your shoulders feel okay with it tonight, hands go to the sky. If your shoulders are a little grumpy, then you might just bring hands to heart. And once you're here, we're going to inhale, let that front leg straighten, and exhale, bend the front knee. And you get to choose how much movement is there. It could be just like a little pulse, a little straighten and bend of the leg, to help remind you that this pose is alive, or it could be a really big full straighten of the leg and a full bend. We have a few more rounds of breath here. Some of you are just going to stay with this. If you want more, as you straighten the front leg, we'll take the hands to the sky. And as you bend the front knee, we'll bring your hands to your heart, lean and tap your left elbow on the right thigh. And then right back up. Hands go up, front leg straightens. 2 more breaths here, however you're choosing to spend it. Exhale, maybe left elbow taps right thigh. And back up. Last one. And then we'll bend the front knee, let your hands come down around your front foot. And we're going to step back into downward facing dog. Does not need to be graceful, just find a way to step it back. You are welcome and invited to stay right here. Or inhale, let's come forward to plank, top of a push-up. You've been here before. Knees can be up or down. I'm going to lower mine tonight. Elbows to point straight back as you lower to the belly. At the bottom, just like we did before, untuck your toes, drag those hands back, lift up baby cobra, or some of you push down into the hands as well and lift up higher. And then exhale, lower right back down. Inhale, table or plank, those of you that want more tonight, and downward facing dog. So that little transitional sequence we call a vinyasa, and I'll include that a few times tonight as an option. You're welcome to take it every time or skip it every time or a combination of both. If it makes sense in your body, let's take your left leg, lift it up and back. And exhale, foot between your hands, any way that works for you. We'll rise up into that lunge again. Hands to the sky or hands at heart. And we'll add a little pulse in here. So as much of a straighten in that front leg as you'd like as you inhale. And as much of a bend as you'd like as you exhale. Staying present with your breath. Staying present with the constant evolution of your physical body and the space within it. You're welcome to stay with this motion, especially if it feels a little wobbly tonight, or start to add the twist in as you bend the front knee, right elbow taps left thigh. Inhale, come right back up. Front leg straightens, hands reach. Couple more. Exhale to bend and twist. Inhale to rise up, reach up. How about one more? And then we'll bend the front knee, hands come down, look forward, step forward, both feet at the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, hands go towards the ceiling again. Let's put a really soft bend in your knees. And as you bend those knees, we're going to grab your left wrist. I'll turn to face you, your left wrist with the right hand. And then we'll straighten the legs, pull up and over toward the right. Keep that left foot really anchored. The left side body elongating little by little here. We'll come back to center, soft bend in the knees. We'll release the grab and switch. Left hand grabs right wrist. Straighten the legs, pull up and over toward the left. And let's do that fluidly one more time. Come to center, bend the knees, grab your left wrist, up and over. Back to center, bend, grab the right wrist toward the left. Back to center, bend the knees, hands to the sky. You choose how much of a chair pose this is. It could be a standing desk. That's how those of you that don't want chair pose tonight can get around it. And then exhale, just simply fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Left foot stays, right leg steps back. Let's bring your back knee down to the floor as you step back this time. We're going to bring your hands up toward the ceiling. And then let's bring hands to heart, lean a little forward, and we'll twist. Either put your right elbow on top of the right thigh, or if it feels okay, outside the right thigh. Prayer hands work nicely for some people. Some people want a little more, so you could also fist your right hand and kind of cup the left palm over the right fist. Couple breaths here. And again, trying tonight in our practice to get rid of the stagnant spaces. So we know that the body is healthiest and most vital when there's a sense of kind of fluidity of energy moving and flowing through the body. And when things get really stuck and stagnant, that's usually when we start to have pain or things pop up, illness sometimes. And so just trying to get rid of the stuck places and spaces, the tension, and let there be this great sense of aliveness, of vitality, of movement in the body again. Last couple breaths. You can stay here if you'd like, or tuck your back toes under, lift that back knee, let the back leg lift. And maybe put in just a little pulse or a little sway forward and back, kind of like grass in the wind, maybe, just to keep things again alive, evolving with your breath. And then let your hands come on down around that front foot. Back knee lifts if it's not already, and let's take it back, downward facing dog. You have the option to stay put. Child's pose is an option, cat-cow is an option. If you want the vinyasa, let's inhale, come forward to plank. Knees up or down, we'll lower toward the belly. And on the floor, we'll take your back bend. So baby cobra, some of you high cobra. And then lower it down. Press up through table or plank. And downward facing dog. When you're ready, right leg lifts. And foot comes forward between the hands. Back knee to the floor this round to start. Hands to the sky. And then we'll take hands to heart and find that twist. Left elbow outside, right thigh, or on top of the thigh. Either is great. Hands can be in prayer. You can fist the left hand. And feel that spinning or spiraling open of the torso. What tends to get stagnant and stuck? Where can you breathe a little more deeply into the body? And if at some point it feels good in your body to tuck those back toes under and lift the knee, up the knee goes. You might pulse a little bit, you might sway a little bit. How about 2 more breaths wherever you're at? And then hands come down around the front foot. Step forward, feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Rise up, chair. So anyone who's done yoga and beer with us before knows this, but those of you that are maybe newer, chair pose can be anywhere between a standing desk and a squatty potty or anywhere in between. The idea, though, is we want the knees to be back behind the toes. So there's this sense of sitting back in the hips. We're going to keep the legs in chair. Let your body drape forward over the thighs. Hands are going to reach down and back. And then inhale, sit right back up. Just 2 more times there. Folding. You can be as dramatic about that as you want. Inhale, lifting. 1 more time. And then we're going to rise all the way up to standing. Hands go skyward. Weight into your right foot, left knee comes up. Pause there. Find your stability in that right foot, right leg. And then hands can stay upwards if you'd like, or as we start to transition, hands could come to heart, and we're going to take your left leg back behind you for airplane pose or warrior 3. Now, you could have the leg parallel to the ground, but you could also keep it a little lower if you're backing off a bit tonight. And you might play with hands reaching back behind you. If you're wanting to add in a little bit of that pulse, that sort of lava lamp experience here, you might bend and straighten your standing leg a couple times. Just see how that changes it, what it gives you access to feel in your body. And then we'll bend that front knee at some point, step back with your left foot, and come into your lunge. We've been here before. Feel the 2 feet on the ground. And then let's drop your back heel to the mat. Let your shoulders open toward the long edge of your mat. Front knee and front toes are pointing forward, warrior 2. The legs are going to stay as is, and we're going to move the upper body a little bit. So as you inhale, we'll take left hand down the back leg, right hand skyward. And then as you exhale, right elbow comes to left thigh, right thigh. Left arm goes forward toward the front of the mat. Like that a couple times. Reverse, left hand down, back leg, right hand reaching up and back. I like to inhale into that, and then maybe exhale into side angle. Right elbow, right thigh, left arm reaching forward. 2 more of those. You can get as creative as you feel like being tonight. If you haven't had enough adult beverages to be creative, then don't worry about it and just stay with me like this. And then we'll come up, warrior 2, arms parallel to the ground. And we're going to bring hands to heart as you parallel the feet, turning all 10 toes toward the left edge of your mat. And then once you're there, toes turn out, heels turn in. And we're going to bend your knees into goddess or horse. You can decide what you want to be tonight. The important thing here is that as you bend the knees point toward the middle of your feet. So the knees aren't kind of falling in. And then let's find just little tiny pulses here. Couple inches up, couple inches down. Hands at heart are a great place to be for this. Those of you that want more could potentially take your arms up to the sky. Couple more rounds of breath here. And then find a happy place to exist, air quotes happy, in your horse or goddess. Let's take your left arm to your thigh, right arm up and over. I'm not mirroring you right now. And then over to the other side. So right hand or right forearm on your thigh, left arm up and over. Back up to the middle. And let's turn into warrior 2 one more time. So right toes go toward the front of the mat, left toes angle in just a bit. And let's take your hands down around your front foot. Stepping your way back, downward facing dog. So same as before, you have options here. Options to be still, options to continue moving. You might roll through that vinyasa if you'd like, inhaling plank. Exhaling chaturanga. Inhaling into your back bend of cobra as high as you'd like to come. And take a big inhale, fill up. And exhale, let it go. As you inhale, let's prepare to move to the front of your mat. It can be a walk, a step, or some of you maybe a little hop. Inhale, halfway lift. Rise up, reach up. And exhale, sit back into chair. No promises, but this is your last chair, I think. So remember, you set how low that chair pose is. Let's exhale, fold over those legs. Be as dramatic as you want about it. Inhale, sit on up, reaching toward the ceiling. 2 more there. I'm going to give an added option as you fold over the legs this time to stay like that or to roll onto the balls of your feet, heels lift, drinking bird. And then we'll come all the way up to standing, heels come down. And as you rise, you go into your left foot, right knee comes on up into the chest. Pause. Find your stability here. And we're heading into that airplane pose shape. So hands might stay ahead of you, kind of above you. They might come to your heart. And we'll start to take that right leg back as you tip forward a little bit. Remember, the leg doesn't have to be super high off the ground. Give yourself just the right amount of challenge tonight. And if you're looking for a little bit of that pulse, you might bend and straighten that left leg a couple times. And then one of the times you bend your left knee, we'll step all the way back into your lunge. Drop that back heel, open up, warrior 2. Let the low legs find, or the lower body, the legs, find its foundation, and then keep that as you start to move the upper body. So we'll reverse. Right hand down the back leg, left hand reaches up and back. And then exhale, left elbow, left thigh, right hand to the sky or reaching forward. Back and forth there with your breath. And remember, you can get creative here. You can not be creative. You can slow it down. You can speed it up. You can find a place you really enjoy and just be still there instead. So many options. Just pick one that allows you to create space within yourself and to stay present with yourself. Last round here. Let's bring it back up. Warrior 2. I'm not going to make you do horse pose again. You're welcome. Hands come down around your front foot, back heel lifts. And downward facing dog. Option to stay or option to come forward to plank. We're going to spend a few breaths in plank. Option to drop your left knee to the ground. And we're going to take either with left knee off the ground or on, so either plank or modified plank. We're going to take your right leg and lift it up and back. And then put the right foot down. Straighten your left leg if it's bent. Bend your right knee. And lift the left leg. So if you're doing this in full plank, your right leg will be straight, toes will be on the ground, left leg will be lifted. Modified is with knee down. Let's switch one more time again. So each side will go one more time. You choose the modified version or the full version. Switch. And then we'll make our way back to downward facing dog. You might choose to take that vinyasa on the way, lowering toward the ground, finding your back bend of choice. And meeting up in downward facing dog. From your down dog, let's take your right leg, lift it up and back. Home stretch here. Last round of standing postures. You can choose to stay here if you'd like, or as you exhale, bring your shoulders over your wrists, bring your knee in towards your nose like you're going to kiss it. You might kiss it. And then take it up and back. Inhale. You're going to do that 2 more times. You can skip it or you can do it. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, lift it up. Last time, bring it in. And lift it up. And then step your right foot in between your hands any way that works for you. Come on up into your lunge. And we'll open warrior 2 just like we did before. But this time as you settle, let's straighten your front leg. Reach your right hand forward like your beverage is just out of reach. And then bring your right fingertips to your shin. Pretty high up, no weight on the hand, just a little touch. Left hand can be reaching up or hand on hip, your choice. As you exhale, we're going to slide that right hand any amount further down the leg. And then inhale, slide it back up. Couple there, slide it down. Do your best to keep both sides of your waist really long. Inhale, slide it up. About 2 more. Last one. And then as you slide up, we'll bend that front knee. Take the arms forward and back, warrior 2. And hands to heart. Parallel the feet. All 10 toes point toward the left edge of your mat again. This time, legs are going to stay straight, feet are going to stay parallel, and we're going to fold at your hips to come into your forward fold. Hands finding the floor. Keep it really easy and gentle. Just let the head fall. If you need to bend the knees, let the knees bend. Those of you that this is already a lot, or this is the perfect place to be, I want you to stay. If a little side-to-side lunging here might feel nice, we're going to take your hands toward your back leg, bend that knee any amount, and then just walk it to your front leg and bend that knee any amount. How about a couple times back and forth? Some of you that know Skandasana, or it's available to come all the way down and your straight leg foot, the toes lift. This is an option. If that's too much on your joints, keep it higher and then switch. How about 2 more in each direction? Kind of moving like, again, that lava lamp or a little spider. If spiders are creepy, then some sort of insect that you enjoy. We'll take it one more time toward that front foot. And then we're going to turn the whole body forward. Plant your hands and step back, downward facing dog. If you want the vinyasa, inhale, plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Back bend of your choosing as you inhale. Downward facing dog, any way you'd like as you exhale. So we're going to start with those 3 sort of pulses of knee to chest. If you know that that just doesn't feel good in your body and you'd prefer to keep 2 feet on the ground for down dog, option 1 is here. Option 2, left foot to the sky. You can stay here. Option 3, as you exhale, left knee comes in, shoulders stack. It's a little bit of cat pose in the upper back. Left foot to the sky. And 2 more. Use your exhale to bring it in. Inhale to take it back. Last one. If you kissed your right knee, make sure your left knee gets a kiss too. Up and back. And then from wherever you're at and however it works for you, left foot between your hands. Come up into your lunge. Open up, warrior 2. And just pause here for a moment. Let's take your shoulders towards your ears and then let them go. And any judgment in your mind, any kind of critique of what you are not able to do in your body, just let it go. Because the practice is the breath. The practice is the connection with ourselves. And you can do that regardless of what shapes you're able to master in your body. Let's straighten your front leg. Just honoring this body that you have and all that it is able to do for you, and make the shapes work for the body that you have. Take that left arm, reach it forward. And we'll gently bring that left hand to your shin. Right hand either to the sky or to the hip. Either is great. As you exhale, we'll slide the left hand down to a good point for you. And then inhale, slide it back up. Again, doing your best to keep both of your side bodies really long. Exhale, slide down. Inhale, slide up. 2 more. This one will slide all the way back up. Let's bend the front knee, warrior 2. Hands around your front foot. And one more step back to downward facing dog. Vinyasa if you'd like. Stillness if you'd prefer. Child's pose if you're ready to be on the floor. And then let's slowly lower the knees to the ground if they're not already. Point your toes straight back. Let's come on up to kneeling with your hips over your knees. And we're going to take your arms behind you, either clasping the thumbs or all of the fingers. And what I want you to create with your legs is sort of this really solid platform, like columns of a really ancient structure. I'm not going to move anywhere. They're there to hold you up and to allow you this sense of freedom in the upper body. Okay? Arms in that clasp. Knuckles are going to head toward the ground. And I want you just to feel like someone has a string attached to your chest, your sternum, and they're lifting you up from that string. A really modified camel pose here. If you know camel and it's in your practice and that would feel nice, feel free to explore deeper options, but this is where we're going to stay with it tonight. Imagine that you're holding maybe like a very ripe peach between your chin and your neck. Feel the evolution. Adjust and shift as you need to. And then like a crunch with your next exhale, bring everything sort of back upright. And if it works in your knees, go ahead and sit back on your heels. And let's take hands right over your heart for a couple breaths. If this doesn't work in your knees, then just stay kneeling with the hips over the knees. Feel the breath beneath your hands. Beat in the pulse of your heart. And then let your hands come to the ground in front of you, and we're going to crawl yourself all the way out onto your belly. Same sort of soft, gentle chaturanga to come down. And then let's bring your forehead to the mat. Legs are straight back and active. Tops of the feet are pressing into the ground. And let's take that same clasp behind us. So thumbs clasped or all of your fingers, your choice. And I want your legs to do the same work of being your foundation here. Feel the feet root down. Feel the quads engage. almost like your legs are so strong they could propel you forward across the floor. And then start to reach your knuckles toward the back of the mat and use your clasp to perhaps lift your head and shoulders and chest off the ground, but only lift enough that A, you're not having any pain in your low back, and B, you can breathe really deeply into the shape. If any sort of clasp is too much for your shoulders, fist your hands and reach back like a superhero cape. You could imagine that you have maybe like a resistance band between your hands. You've got just a couple more breaths here, and you are more than welcome to stay with the legs down. If it would feel nice to lift the legs coming into locust pose, you can do that. If you try it and you're like, nope, not good, just put the feet back down. 2 more really full breaths here. And then slowly, softly let that go. And let's take a cheek to the mat, letting your head turn to the side. And at this point, let your arms flop beside you. Let the shoulders get heavy toward the ground. Just feel the entire front body expand into the ground as you inhale. Everything get heavy into the ground as you exhale. And pick your head up, turn it, put the other cheek down on the ground. Unless you have a microphone on, then don't do that. And then bring your hands beside you. We're going to actually just make our way over onto the back from here. So if you don't care which end of the mat your head ends up on, you could just roll over onto your back. If you're very particular about which end is foot end and which end is head end, come on up and swing around. And then gently you take yourself down onto your back. As you come down onto your back, let's bend the knees, place the feet on the ground. Feel the back side of your body become friends with the floor again. Feel that lava lamp kind of evolution again. Maybe you have a better mental image. For me, that kind of ooey gooey morphine and shifting is very much what my body feels like as it releases and softens into things. A stick of butter in the microwave could be another image. And let's take your right ankle to your left thigh. Let the right knee turn out toward the side. Option 1, stay here. Figure 4 shape in the legs. Option 2, bring the legs in toward you, reaching through the hole between your legs with your right hand and reaching around the outer left leg with your left hand, and hold on to your left hamstring. And then final option is to straighten your left leg. So you can do this with left leg bent or left leg straight. Allow as much of your back body, your pelvis, your spine, your shoulder blades, your shoulders, your head to be on the ground as possible. And then go ahead and bend that left leg. If it's straight, let the foot come back down to the floor. And then let your right foot come back down to the floor. A little sway of the knees side to side. Really gentle, really small. Just a release, a softening. And then we'll switch to the second side. Left ankle on your right thigh. Sometimes it feels good to be really grounded and supported. That might be what you need tonight. You can stay here. Or legs come in toward you. You can reach through and hold on to the hamstring of your right leg. And you can stay with the right leg bent or kick that foot toward the ceiling and let the leg straighten out. Just when the mind wanders off to something else, and just do your best to keep the mind really present here with sort of inward observation. If the poses are really truly kind of living, moving, breathing things, then there's always something to notice because they're constantly shifting and changing. It's not just sort of get into the shape and then check out. One more breath here. And then we'll bend your right leg if it's straight. Let the right foot come back down to the floor. And then your left foot comes down to the ground. And again, little sway of your knees side to side. That might be a slightly bigger movement now, sort of like windshield wipers going right to left. And then let's sneak your hands underneath your head. So we're going to bring the knees to center, let them become still, and sneak your hands underneath your head with the thumbs right at the base of your skull, that occipital ridge. Wrap your elbows in pretty tight. And I want you to use the arms to lift the head and pull back with your thumbs. There's a tiny little bit of lengthening for the neck. Try not to let your neck do this so the head is heavy in your hands. And then ever so gently, lower your head back onto the floor. Now let's take your hands toward the ceiling, right over your shoulders. And then your feet to the sky, right over your hips. Knees could be bent if that's better. So it could be sort of like a tabletop on your back, or we'll call this fainting goat pose tonight. Noticing how the back body responds to this added weight, the weight of your arms, sort of anchoring your upper back into the ground. The weight of your legs anchoring the low back and the pelvis into the floor. And if you prefer the dead bug version of this pose where you get your last little twitches out, you can do that as well before we come down. If it feels nice to be just really still, that's a good option too. Our next stop is Savasana, final relaxation. So when you're ready, we're going to lower one limb at a time down onto the floor for your shape of final release. And this pose is not so important where everything is situated and what it looks like. It's important that the shape of your body in this moment encourages you to release and find ease. So if you would better do that on your belly or on your side or seated, there's no right or wrong pose here as long as you feel invited to relax. Let's all take a big inhale, fill up. And a full exhale, let go. And from here, allow the breath to be really soft and natural. No control to the breath, no sort of striving to create anything. Just let it be easy. The mind will not be completely quiet. Don't try to empty it out. Just try to keep it here in the moment. A little less work, a little less effort, a little less tension at every layer of yourself. Take rest. If you need more of this in your life tonight and you want to stay longer, I invite you to stay longer. And if you are ready to head into your evening, then just start to softly deepen the breath and start to find some gentle movement in your body again. Movement that, without any rush, just very gently brings you to a side and eventually up towards a comfortable seat. And as you find that seat, let your palms come together in front of your heart. Notice and observe how you feel in this moment after your practice tonight. And taking the gifts of the space that you gave to yourself tonight, the blessings, and carrying them with you in your breath as a gift to yourself and to everyone you connect with along the way. The light within me and Shanti honors the light within each of you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for practicing together tonight. I hope that you got a little something that you needed this evening from your practice. We'll be at it again Wednesday night at 6 o'clock and Saturday morning at 10 a.m. So we'd love to have you join us. And as always, or to inform you that you don't know, if you don't know, the links for these classes immediately become a recording for the classes as soon as we're done. So they're there and available for you whenever you need them. So if you can't join us at the exact class time, they will be there for you. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Charlotte. Denise, yes, it's Shanti. I hope that your night goes very well and you get some sunshine this week. If you would like to support for class tonight, the information about donating is in the description of the class. And if you want to come cheers for a little bit with us, I'll post the link for the Zoom Hangout here in a moment in the chat feature, and you can come say hi for a little bit. If I don't see you there, then I hope you have a good one. I'm going to come up. Thank you, Neil. Thanks for being here with us. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Allie. All right, here comes the list or the link for the Zoom Hangout if you want to come hang. Dun, 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 dun. Shanti, somebody wants a Shanti hug. Catherine wants a Shanti hug. She's shedding pretty badly right now, so you might not want a Shanti hug. Thanks, Nicole. I like these pants too. Thank you, Howard. Appreciate you being here. All right, guys, I'm going to end this live stream and head over to Zoom. Would love to see you there. Have a good night.